some of this oil off my face, man. Shit, my skin be shining. That's that good eating. Just came from the gym. Let me adjust this here. Let me go like that. Right, there we go. So I was thinking about this one, and while I was working out, I'm telling you guys, ever since becoming debt free, this stuff just comes to me. All right. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see. And what I mean by see is I was once trapped in what I call the debt matrix. The debt matrix is a place where everybody that believes they need credit and debt, they all live here. They can't buy anything without credit. They can't buy shoes, cars, clothes, cell phones, game consoles. Okay, they don't believe they can do it without credit. And they also believe that anybody with a high credit score must have money, and they must know how to manage money well, and et cetera, which that's not even true. That's not even, nothing even. It says nothing. A high credit score says nothing about somebody's money management skills. I promise you that. All right, so earlier, this is like a part two, but I've been following these First Amendment audits, right? And if you haven't done that, it'd be good of you to go see it. Just type in First Amendment audits and pull them up on YouTube, and you'll see a ton of people just doing it, right? And what they do is they go around filming at places that are in public places that our First Amendment right allows them to film and tape and take pictures of, right? As long as you do it from a public space and you're not committing any crimes, right? So what they do is go out now, and I want you guys to follow me here, okay? I'm coming from a very debt-free perspective, and I just come from different angles. So follow me here. Now, when you see these guys, don't get caught up on why they're doing it. Who would want to go in and film inside a post office? Who would want to go in and film inside the lobby of a sheriff's office? You know, like that. Get out of that mindset, okay? Just remember, they can do it legally. That's the whole point. They're just exercising their First Amendment right to do it freely and unbothered. Okay, just follow that part. Now, the title of this video is First Amendment and Illegal Drugs. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it in, the illegal drug part in towards the end. Okay? And you'll understand it when I put it all together like a jigsaw puzzle. It's crazy. Anyway, so when these guys go into public places and film police office buildings and police cars and the post office, right? Usually the police, there's the staff call the police on them almost every time. Okay. Now, when the cops walk up, now I've been following these for a while, so I'm just getting my own interpretation. They all seem to have this certain walk when they come walking up, like, all right, I'm here and I'm about to take care of it and do it. It's just now that's just my opinion. Okay. That's just my opinion. Anyway. They'll walk right up to the guys with the cameras. Now, they're armed with cameras doing live stream YouTubing. Now, what's a better way to say that? When they come up, like when the cops come up, they automatically come out with that two-finger, you got some ID, and then in mid-stride, they come over at the same time into your personal space, but in a way that they automatically know that you're going to give it to them. Why? Because they're the police. So it's almost like a smooth motion. You got any ID? And then the person reaches back and says, yes, I do, officer. Here you go. It's like one big motion, right? And we don't even think it twice about it, right? But these guys go to these locations armed with the law. And as long as they're not committing a crime, which these guys, when they go here, they never commit any crimes. That's the key thing. They don't commit any crimes when they're doing this. No crimes at all. Nothing. And when the cops walk up and demand their ID, they can legally say no. Now, they can legally say no. You can't have my ID, and usually the cop will respond, "Oh, you're gonna give me your ID or whatever." Then they go, "What crime am I suspected of?" What crime? And of course, they haven't done no crime, so they don't answer. They can't answer that question. Okay, they just can't answer the question because there is no crime. All right. Now, the cops start to. You could see the cops started. You, pay attention, close attention to their face when the person says like this, and this is how they respond with saying no to the police officer about the ID. They'll go, "No, thank you. I don't want to do that. No, thank you." And then you can see right at that moment the cop is shocked. It's real quick. You got to see it really quick. But look at their expression when they say that to him. Right? It's like, ah! What? What you mean? And some will get even angrier, and then they'll respond with, "No, no, thank you." Now, it seems like this, the logical way, it seems like this. It seems like they would do, instead of, no, this is what should normally happen, okay? Since it is the law that they're doing, right? The cops should normally walk up and that happened, and if they took a step back and were like, wait a minute, what that dude just said to me is not normal. Nobody says it like that. Everybody usually, fuck you, you can't have my ID, coppers, you can stick it up your ass, and all this crazy stuff. But these guys are like, no, thank you, you can't have my ID, no, thank you. Now they should stop and say, wait a minute, why is he doing that? Maybe he knows something that I don't know because he waited for me to get here. All he is armed with the camera. He's not doing anything. He didn't run from the sound of the people saying, we're going to call the police. He didn't run. He's waiting for me. Something's weird about that. But you know what happens? At that moment, let me make sure I follow my thing before I start walking off with the story. Now, right at that moment, what happens, when that happens to the police officer, you can see their ego kick in. Instead of saying, wait a minute, that's the law, you're right, see you later, you guys have a good day, bye-bye. The ego takes over. You can see it. You can see the ego just immediately like, wait a minute, you can't say that to me. There's something I can do to you. And then all of a sudden, you could see the ego take over their whole person. Because they'll start doing totally unprofessional stuff. And what's crazy, that you can clearly see they don't know that they're doing it. The ego has taken them over so much that they don't even realize what they're doing. Standing around, oh, I can stare at you. You can stare at me. And they don't realize they're making the views for the guys that are making the videos. All they really want is the officers to say, hey, yeah, you're right. It is the law. We're infringing on your First Amendment rights, and walk away. They wouldn't even be in the video. Nobody would watch that boring shit if the cops did that. But no, they let their egos take over. And if you really pay attention, you can see it's the real them. It's the real them at that moment. And if you pay attention, close attention, it's the real them. And they don't realize they're showing you the real side of them because they've never run into this kind of resistance. This next generation, they're not having that stuff that happened in my generation. They're not having any of that. All live stream. So you could tell they're probably not even used to having to look up such a law as far as ID and stuff, because nobody's ever said no without fear of arrest or whatever. But these guys are armed with the law, so they know exactly what they're saying, right? But the egos just take over, and they do some most of unprofessional things that are unbelievable. And it's usually the older cops. And you could tell some of the younger cops that do it, unfortunately, the younger cops are trying to follow the older generation. I mean, they're naturally learning from them, okay? They've got more experience, blah, blah, blah. But if the younger cops took the time to say, wait a minute, okay, these older guys might know something, but this is a different generation. There was no live streaming back then. No live streaming, none of that. Nobody too scared to even look up the law. If you didn't have proof, it didn't matter. But nowadays it's different. So if you pay attention to how they're acting, not all of them, most of them I've seen. And I'm not choosing sides. I just want you guys to see something, okay? I'm not picking sides, just pay attention. You could see them, their real self at that moment, and they cannot stop themselves. They cannot stop. They cannot just pack up and say, you're right, I'm leaving. can you imagine if the cameras were off, if there was no live streaming? That ego would take over, all the way, completely over. But it's held at bay by the live streaming cameras because there are consequences. You can't lie with the video eye. You can't lie, right? So now, this is how I tie it into the illegal drug part, okay? Now imagine, I want to bring it in a right way. Imagine, one second, let me make sure, I want to make sure I'm saying this right to you guys. Okay, here's the illegal drug part. All right. Now, as a regular person, being in debt, if you've been in debt all your life, it just seems this way. I'm going to tell it to you in a way that when you're not in debt, things are not as expensive as you may believe they are, okay? They're not. Life is not expensive. It just seems expensive when you're deep in debt. That's all. And I'm telling you from experience. Now, the normal person, not a normal person, somebody would see themselves working very hard at a job that's paying low wages, right? And then taxes are coming out their wages and they're not making it. And they got card payments and they got credit card payments. And some decide, you know what? Screw that. Screw the system. They start blaming the system. Okay, it's the system's fault. They take too much money out of the check. They don't pay enough. Whatever, right? So they go to illegal drugs. And so they start making more money than they ever have without even paying any taxes, right? They're just making all this money. Now, where I want you to understand is that the part living in the debt matrix. Here you are making a little bit of money, making car payments and making credit card payments and things of that nature. And then also you start selling drugs, and then you start making more money than you ever have without taxes. And you're still making car payments and credit card payments and mortgage payments. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're in a debt matrix, you might earn a lot more money than a person, but you're still doing the same things. You still got credit card payments. So you're still in the same box, but you guys don't know it. You don't know you're still in the debt matrix. But the difference between you and the working person, now this is where it ties into the whole story. Imagine those police officers that the ones that they can't control their egos. Imagine if you commit a crime. You're actually giving them permission to let their egos loose on you. All over you. All for money. You giving up your freedom, the time in your life to people that act like that. Not saying everybody. I'm just there's corruption in every business in the world, but just cops are just the forefront, okay? So don't make it seem like I'm picking on somebody, because corruption's everywhere. They are just in the forefront. And one bad one can make a whole bunch of them look bad, whatever, right? But imagine if you give them a legal reason to let loose their ego on you for money, knowing that you're just trapping yourself. You're totally trapping yourself in the debt matrix. If you take the time to understand the system, how it works, you will understand there is no reason to do anything illegal. People are giving away money. They're giving away money, giving it away. There's no reason to steal it. There's no reason to risk the time of your life to get it illegally. Just understand the system. And I'll give you an example of them giving away money. Overdraft fees. They make billions a year off of overdraft fees. Overdraft fees are something that a person doesn't even have to get. All they got to do is what? Keep track of their own money. That's it. Apply 5th grade math to your finances. Guess what? You'll never have overdraft fees. I've never had overdraft fees in my life. Prepaid credit cards. This is where you give the money you already have in your hand to the bank. The bank loans it back to you at a percentage rate and earns interest by loaning it out, because they don't physically just keep it in the bank and say, okay, let me just hold this $500 here, or whatever you're putting on there, right? And so they're charging you and making interest, all for the privilege of reporting to the credit bureau, hey, this guy paid us back his own money on time. Does that make any kind of sense? People are giving away money. You don't have to do anything illegal. I promise you. People are financing cell phones. If you thought a car depreciates fast, can you imagine the rate of a cell phone? People are giving away money. You know why? Math says so. 5th grade math. All right, let me see what I got here. If you hear what I'm saying, and I'm going to tell you something, that's not even bragging to you. If you listen to what I'm saying, I will make you rich. And once you understand this, wealth is on that. You'll get there. And wealth, true wealth, is owning the time in your life. Okay? Not money, owning the time in your life. But if you listen to what I'm saying, apply 5th grade math to your finances, you'll be rich. And here's the master mathematical 5th grade math formula. And that's not even an insult. It's just true. Savings minus debt equal how much money you have in real life. That's how you build wealth, right? That's how you do it. Apply math and I'm going to tie this in back into the cop and stuff. I want you to see something that I'm telling you. It's in your face and you don't pay attention to it. Have you ever seen 2 people commit the same crime? Let's say like 2 men committed rape. One was rich and one was poor. The poor one got a ridiculous, stupid amount of time, and the rich person got about 6 months for the same crime. What do you think it is? Money! Money makes that difference. Isn't that obvious to you? It's obvious to me. It's 100% obvious that it's money. If you understand wealth, if you understand money, you will build wealth, and this will be you. I'm not saying that you're going to commit a crime. I'm just pointing out something that shows you. If you have money, you can hire the best to take care of your problems. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. They're not hiding anything. Nothing's hidden. I want you guys to clearly understand, nothing is hidden. You know what your ticket to wealth is? Add up every single dime you owe on earth. Add it up. That's what it's going to cost you to become wealthy. That's the price of your ticket. First step, all you got to do is believe it. Believe that you owe that much money. Believe it to be true. The second, pay it off. This is your price to freedom. This is the price of your ticket to admission to wealth.